guys, gals, friends, and pals, this is PaulyStack's Twitch, and welcome to another episode of Saturday Game School, where we learn about a different game every Saturday of the year. Tonight, I'm joined on mic by Tyler.
Hello.
He's back and better than ever, kids. And we've also got Alejandro, Alex Skywalker.
Hey.
Yay, and I heard him that time. Plus, off to my side, it's Brainy Cats.
Hello.
And we have the great pleasure of streaming Ys, Memories of Celceta for PlayStation 4. This is a fresh new port of Ys, which, of this particular game, it first came out on PlayStation Vita and Steam, and now it is on PS4. Yay, Perfect Zero, we're glad you made it. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about the game, and this game does look like a Vita game on the big screen. They have not upgraded the models as far as I can tell, and things like that. And in fact, in the cinematics, sometimes the movement looks pretty bad because it's not motion captured. But that's okay, it's actually a really cool game and graphics aren't everything. So the Ys,
pretty darn good.
I think it's nice and colorful, right? And that's one of the pluses, definitely.
I like the way it does parties too.
Oh yeah, you can swap back and forth between the characters. So I'm playing as this red guy, Adol Kristen. He is the series protagonist. He's always the one you play as in the Ys games, although you can switch to different party members in some of them. Got a partner named Durin. This guy here, Commander Leo, he's a blowhard military guy. So we're on this continent. I believe it's based on Australia. But they want us to go out into this great forest and map it, and it's full of all kinds of ancient dangers and whatnot. So people who go in there often don't come back out alive. But that's our job, to go out and map it. And working for Commander Leo are Sancho and Panza, these two kind of comic relief characters. That's a reference to Don Quixote, of course.
They're Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Yes, they are like them from, was that Hamlet?
Yes.
Very nice.
Oh, there's Matt. Good to see you, Matt. Me too, bums. This was a great game on the Vita. You can still buy it. If you have a Vita, it's $20 to buy digitally. On PlayStation 4, it's $30, although you can buy a deluxe edition that also comes with the soundtrack digitally. And on Steam, it's $25. So it's funny, 20, 25, and 30. It hits all three price points on different platforms.
And we're giving away 3 of them tonight.
Yes, we've got 3 PlayStation 4 codes to give out, which is exciting.
Yeah, Brian asked if it works on PS TV. I was going to ask the same because I do have a PS TV as well.
That's a good question. Yeah, somebody who has it connected should hop on and check. I feel like, did I stream the Vita version long ago? Because if I did, that would mean it works on it, but I can't remember.
I feel like it definitely works on PS TV, just based on researching it in the past.
Nice. Yeah, and I probably did stream that version long ago. So we're going out into the field here. Again, our objective is to map out the place. These checkpoint stones, you can teleport between them once you find others. But this is my first time going out into this particular area. That is true, Matt. Commander Leo is, well, at the very least, he's not a very good commander. Tyler, have you ever played any Ys games before?
But they do sound like they'd kind of be in my realm of interest because they're less RPG-y than a lot of JRPG style games, and they have action combat, right? It's an action RPG.
Yeah, it's just, it's pure action, but you do have to obviously talk to people and complete missions and whatnot, quests. And there's a crafting system in this. Yeah, as action RPGs go, they're pretty simple, because if you think about it, The Witcher 3, that is an action RPG, but people just think of it more as just a full-on RPG, right? But the combat is all action, not turn-based.
3,000 pages of dialogue.
Oh yes, quite a lot. Jordan, we're glad you made it, and hello, Brailmeister. The characters level up independently, as you can see. Each one does a different kind of damage, and enemies have resistances to certain kinds of damage, so you're encouraged to switch back and forth between them.
Do you control the other player, the other character in any means, or do you just switch back and forth?
Just switch back and forth. The other one will, they're they'll just run up and attack, and you could see he ran up and started harvesting without me telling him to, which is kind of handy as NPCs go. But I think you may have the option of setting how aggressive they are in the settings. I know Bumsley really wanted to see a lot of settings tonight, but
Checking out like the audio menus and like changing the display ratio and stuff like that.
yes, as you know, that is a big priority around here, so... So what have you guys been up to this week?
Work.
Tyler, you don't, even though you work at a college, which is a type of school, you don't actually get summers off, do you?
I do not. Maybe if I was a teacher, had a fake job like that, but because I'm just staff, I have to work all summer.
Gotta keep the boat afloat, you say?
I was in a conference the past 2.5 days. Yes, Thursday, Friday, and today.
Locally, or did you have to go out of town?
It was virtual. It was streamed from Argentina.
From Argentina, wow. Was it in English?
Partly, it was a Xamarin conference, so they had people from Microsoft and then a bunch of speakers from all over the south part of America, and then some Spanish from Spain, of course.
Interesting. What did you learn about?
.NET 6 coming up in about a year, and what is considered the unified Windows platform, where you can develop apps and games for Windows and Xbox and all platforms running Windows 10. It's getting unified, so it's making it easier for developers, or it's going to make it a lot easier for developers to write code that runs on Windows-powered devices. We talk about the Surface Duo, which is really exciting, and just a bunch of really cool stuff.
Surface Duo, fancy. Hey Link, we're glad you made
It
it.
is cool, but I don't know. Windows hasn't been able to penetrate a lot of the markets. It doesn't seem like the way they wanted to, or Microsoft in general. Short of
Yeah.
gaming and PC.
I wonder why that is. Is
I
it
can tell you why
they're-
the Windows phone didn't work.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're gonna go with Android. I think that's what they're gonna be running on, like a next version of Windows phones, but from what I recall. But yeah, they didn't talk about that, but that's what I heard.
Yeah, to put it succinctly, Tyler, why did Windows Phone not work?
Because the contact list was sometimes not great. That's the reason that Windows Phone never took off.
The contact list, of course!
That was the one thing.
Couldn't it be because Microsoft didn't really have the will to aggressively market and support the device that would have been needed for it to actually catch up to Android?
I feel like the contact list was probably the biggest deal. And then maybe your reason is also slightly accurate.
Surely it's a factor.
Pretty sure it was just the contact list. People were like, oh yeah, I want Windows Phone, but I heard the contact list isn't great.
And you would want an app, right? And it would be like, sorry, this app isn't available.
Yes,
I think
that's what drove me away from it.
I think they let too many crappy apps into the store. Like, you wanted Facebook, and there were 10 apps called Facebook, and they were all like fake, and sometimes they were just really
Right.
crappy.
That was a problem.
It was
Yeah.
definitely a problem.
The Mark B, glad to see you.
They couldn't actually convince Facebook to make an app for them. They could convince, Bob Smith down in Florida to make a Facebook app that he calls Facebook, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, in the case of there was a legitimate Facebook app, wasn't there? I
Yeah, I
mean,
think there was. Facebook's probably not the best
some point.
example, but yes, there was.
Instagram, there wasn't a real Instagram one for the
Right.
longest time. And yeah, Dementia, good to see you. So my PR friend Mark B is here. Thank you for supporting the stream, dude. It is always cool to see colleagues make it out. Oops. Is colleague the right word? It's probably not if they don't do the exact same thing. But anyway, industry folks, let's put it like that.
Yeah, I would call somebody who works on my same field a colleague. Not a coworker, because you're not working together. But colleague, sounds good.
Okay. Then we'll let it slide.
How about you, Brandy? What have you been up to?
Yeah, Brandy.
Getting my daughter ready to go visit her dad.
Yeah, I learned a new skill. Oh yeah, her daughter just left today for 9 days, I think.
Yeah, visitation.
These enemies that roll into you are really annoying. But I should be the other guy instead of this.
Yeah, each of the guys has their own strengths and weaknesses against enemies. I kind of like that.
It is cool, and right now we only have 2 party members, but you can have up to 3 at a time, and eventually you'll have a choice and you can swap them out. Like, it's not the same 3 people for the whole game. We're gonna stop and rest, and that should make my health start filling up slowly. There it goes. And I would be doing... I mean, I'm not doing poorly, but I'd be doing a little better if it hadn't been, like, 3 or 4 weeks since I played. But let's talk about Ys a little bit. I touched upon it briefly, but the very first Ys game to be released in English was Ys Book 1 for the Sega Master System. And then the TurboGrafx had a CD add-on called the TurboGrafx CD, and then they bundled them together and made it the Turbo Duo. Ys Book 1 and 2 together were released on that. And again, you can get that particular Ys Book 1 and 2 on the TurboGrafx Mini. Really great games. Like, they've always had excellent soundtracks. Like, this game has quite a nice soundtrack, although Part 1 and 2 had the best of the series. And good voice acting. Not that the Master System version had voice acting. In Japan, it was even released on the Famicom, which is the Japanese NES. And they've always been good about releasing them on computers. Like, if you are a Steam gamer, you can get pretty much the whole series, like maybe except for 1 or 2 games on Steam, which is really sweet. Thanks to Xseed and maybe another publisher, I forget. There is an interesting story. Like all the games have different stories, obviously, following the lead character Adol as he kind of explores mysterious lands. Uh-oh, what's this? Oh yeah, this is for a side quest I'm on. You're supposed to catch this female Fabros, which is like a bull, and milk it. But if it sees you, it runs away. Congratulations, Ectotastic!
Congrats, Echo.
It's a death bison. It is a freaky looking animal. It comes right back, so it's not exactly a hard quest.
How do you sneak up on it?
I think you may have to walk around from the backside. Let's try that. Yep, just gonna creep on over there. So, have either of you guys played any video games this week? Tyler, Alejandro?
I played a little indie game called Vosteria or something. It's kind of like VVVVVV, where like the gravity, you're either on top or on bottom. And then it also has like a little bit of like side-scrolling shooty stuff.
You did it!
Yeah, they made a heart symbol for some reason when we started milking it.
Been playing a lot of Roblox lately.
Roblox, really? What got you into that?
My son.
So, what do you play it on?
My computer, on my laptop.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's also on Xbox and PS4, although it's probably not cross-platform.
Can't say it's not, but I've played it, and I've also tried to like make my own levels and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Neat. Yeah, I know that game is pretty popular with the kids. I had some students who enjoyed it. And I guess we should talk about my week's big development, which I've already mentioned in the newsletter, so probably everybody's already seen it. But in case you didn't know, and I did announce this on Discord right when it happened, guys, but I had a job interview on Monday, and I got the job. I got it on Thursday, and I signed the paperwork Friday, yesterday. So, yeah, it's such a good thing. Believe me, like, it was really bad for my spirit to be out of work for a while, so I'm so glad to have a new teaching position lined up.
Yeah,
And I'm
congratulations.
Thank you. And it's high school still, so I'll be teaching high school English. Tyler, do you think Stotch doesn't know what subject I actually teach? Like, does he not know, or does he like to say the wrong subject to be annoying?
Probably the latter, but what did he say?
He just always like says math when he brings it up.
Sounds more like he is just saying something.
It well could be.
I'm basically teaching now, so.
Yeah, and Tyler. Oh yeah, Brandy. Well, I mean, I'll be teaching English. I don't know which grade level yet, just that it's in high school. But thank you, Jay Bronas and everybody. Really appreciate it. The Mark. Brandy is switching from biology to a few different things, right? This boss,
Yeah,
I mean, this area is
physics.
really tough. Physics. Gotta remember to dodge. I'm gonna just run off and heal.
Physics is the worst subject.
He's chasing us too.
It's
What a
just
jerk.
algebra. I'm like, okay, I don't want to teach algebra. I've already done that. But I'm the only one that has the math. So,
Matt wants to know if I sit in the chair backwards to teach my students like Michelle Pfeiffer does in Dangerous Minds. I actually haven't seen that movie.
you should. It's very nice.
They don't want us to even sit down. Like, really, when you are teaching,
Yeah.
you should be standing up at the front of the class and moving around the room, too. Because you have to use proximity to encourage the students to not goof off, basically. Like, if they're doing something dumb, then you walk up and stand right next to them, and hopefully they'll get the hint and just stop, and you don't even have to say anything.
Yeah. It's not calculus based, it's algebra based, so it's just algebra,
Checkpoint.
trig, and
There's
geometry.
calculus-based physics.
Yes, it's actually more accurate.
Oh, okay.
Because algebra-based physics, you have to basically ignore. It's not my favorite. I like
Never knew about
biology.
physics. I hated.
Oh,
Which is weird because I
Um,
like math, but yeah, physics is just not for me.
I
love
understand
physics.
this.
I really like physics. I did not enjoy math as much as I enjoyed physics.
well, that's
Yeah.
at least one of you likes it.
Exact
Tyler, you're
opposite.
supposed to be encouraging her.
Oh
Hey.
no, I would. I mean, maybe my teacher hated physics, and that's why he was so miserable too. So, because he was awful, I hated the teacher too.
Oh.
But maybe he just hated physics.
What's a spirit tree? Let's find out. Yeah, that's the thing. If you can teach different kinds of subjects, then the school has every freedom to just say, okay, you're teaching that now, and you don't get to just pick.
Yeah, it almost is like it's like a hindrance instead of a help to be to have multiple talents in that area.
Exactly, because I know a few people who thought I should get my special ed certification, but then the first thing they would do is make me be a special ed
Oh, yeah, they
teacher and
would.
not just an
And that-
English teacher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, and special ed burnout is so high.
What I truly hated was chemistry. I could just not like a single bit of chemistry.
Ooh, I don't like it
Really?
either.
I love
Chemistry-
biology and
well,
chemistry.
Yeah, I like biology the best, then chemistry, and then physics is like way below. The 3,
Yep.
4.
I'm with you
biology,
there.
yes. Yeah, biology,
Alright.
definitely yes. But chemistry, no way.
Biology. I do get to teach a little bit of chemistry because I'll have IPC kids, which is integrated physics and chemistry, but it's just so little. You just give them a little bit, it's hard not to teach them too much. So,
Yeah,
But-
I almost didn't make it out of high school because of chemistry. I had to take like remedial classes and extraordinary blah blah blah, and it was painful.
In high school, I went to chemistry class for 2 weeks, and then I requested a change of class, and I switched to computer science, and I had so much of a better time. That was all the chemistry I needed. Thankfully, in college, I only had to take biology and anatomy, and I enjoyed both of those greatly. Yay, Adel just unlocked a new memory. We're going to talk about that in a sec. Matt asks, do I have to be a coach at my new school? The answer is no. That was a different job that would have been farther to drive and just a little more different from what I was doing. I would have had to be an English teacher and a coach for like 8th grade or something. Now this, I'm doing high school, which I'm already familiar with, and just teaching, thankfully. Then let's see. Jay Bronis asks if Texas is starting with distance learning. Only certain districts are starting with distance learning. Unfortunately, Texas governmental leadership is perhaps not looking out for the best interest of teachers and students because there's an orange guy that is more important than any of our lives in health and safety. So basically, we're not as bad off as Georgia or Florida, but they are not. A lot of us don't feel that they're taking things safely, and we're just going to go back in person. Even my new school guys, and I'm not bad-mouthing my school, but apparently they feel that as long as all the kids are sitting 6 feet apart, that they don't even have to be wearing masks. Like, we can take our masks off. And I'm like, no, I do not want to be in the room with kids with no masks. Absolutely not. So hopefully my room won't work that way.
Fortunately,
scary.
My school's in a big city, so we have a mask ordinance in the city that my college can rely on.
I'm glad. Tyler, I was a little... Yeah, Brian, do you have links for anything like that? Because I am genuinely interested in things like that. But Tyler, your state, Utah, was in the news because apparently there's been some maskless protests.
Yes, we have been.
That's not so good, is it?
It is, but it's not. Yeah, it's further south. It's down about 5 to 10 minutes from where BYU is. So that area of the state. But yeah, Utah County's having some serious issues with people who don't want to wear them masks.
It's a shame, and once you take something, you can take an important thing to do, like wearing a mask so you don't get everyone sick and so you don't get sick. And then once you have one party think it's a good idea and another party think it's a bad idea, then it becomes a political thing, right? And that is what happened.
It really is interesting how there seems to have to be like a dividing line on every issue. Like people just are physically unable to agree on things.
Mm-hmm.
Quite obnoxious.
Yes, super obnoxious. Like there's some things, you can think money should be spent one way or another, but shouldn't we all want ourselves to survive? Isn't that something we all have in common? It should be, right? But here we are.
But,
Yeah, wear a mask because I don't want to get sick, not because I'm a political party or a religious kind. It's just I don't want to get sick. How's that?
Yeah. Our school district is giving parents the choice.
Chicago, glad to see you.
But the problem with the choice is
the choice of staying home is what
yeah,
she means.
choice of staying home or choice of face-to-face. But if I have to be at school teaching 150 other kids, my kid has to go to school because I can't be home teaching her.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't have anyone to watch her daughter, so we've been concerned about that.
Yeah, my son's going to start middle school, and it's very scary because they send this big email about all the things they want to do in classrooms, and it's still very scary.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. That's rough, Bums. That's got to be really hard on his spirit, I would imagine.
But
So, go on.
back to the game, I was reading that each member has a specific attack type classified into 3 types: slash, strike, and pierce.
Exactly. So right now we've got slash and strike, I think.
So you have to pay attention to your enemies. Some enemies are weaker against a certain type of attack, and some of them are resistant to other two, so you gotta use that to your advantage.
Yeah, it's a cool
Rock,
challenge.
paper, scissors.
Yeah, exactly.
It is like that.
Good analogy.
I need to find a way to get out of this water. Going into the water with those guys is not so good. I got much farther in the Vita version, so I'm doing stuff that I've already done before, but it's just been so long since I played it on Vita.
Is that rocks?
Ooh, that big... Yeah, we were harvesting materials.
Oh.
This big guy, we could pick away at him and eventually kill him, but if we take very many hits, he'll kill us, so at this point in the game, we might not want to do that. You can get better... In fact, he just one-shot at me. Ouch. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be that bad. Maybe I need to go back and get some better equipment or something.
He looks like King Louis. I want to be like you.
He does. But Adol didn't come right back either. Oh no, and he's just standing at the pathway.
Oh, great.
What do I do? I'm just gonna continue to the right, I guess. But I'm down a party member, so it's not ideal. Occasionally, in this particular game, it can be confusing to know where to go. Like, if you ever happen to get stuck and not know how to get to your next objective, there are FAQs online, so you could look it up. Did you have a question?
I just wondered how you respawn.
Well, I need to get to one of those checkpoint stones, like the one in
Okay.
that same area where the big guy is. But the problem is he's guarding the pathway.
God.
And I'm also fighting a bunch of scorpions who have poisoned me, which is not very polite of them at all. How do I do special moves again? Is it... Well, I could use that. That's items.
And don't forget to use your parry because you can actually get
That's...
some.
What does it do? It fills up. I'm trying to remember that. I wonder if I could just pause and look at the controls, because that's... I can't figure out how to do a couple things. You can save at any time, so I'm going to go ahead and save.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, or practically any time. There may be areas where you can't, but in general you can. I think you're right, Bob Jones. Options, controls, there we go. Okay, action, guard. So there's a guard, that's good to know. Switch characters, I know that. Extra skills, L1 and R1. That's I was hitting the L2 and R2, but not. Let's try this out.
Yeah, and a well-timed parry will do a flash guard, so that can nullify the hit damage.
I just got a better sword for Adol, that's good. And this poison just doesn't seem like it's going to wear off, does it? So maybe I should look... My health is restoring, and then...
Sometimes I'll do that in games when I get poisoned. Like, I'll just run around till I die if I don't. You know, usually it wears off, and if it doesn't, it's like, oh well, I wasn't meant to live. I guess that, you know...
No, it feels that.
But you kind of have to learn how poison works in a lot of video games.
That is true, because it does vary.
Grab some random leaves and try them, see if it's the antidote.
Let's just go to items and see. I don't think I have an antidote at all. So I do have this to restore some health. I guess I'm going to use it. And then hope that is good enough. But, I mean, gosh, is the poison really just never going to wear off? Sorry. Cat acting up over there.
He ignores us all day, and then when it's time for stream, let's go!
Yeah, he decides he wants some attention, and he goes in some ways and all things. I used to have... I used to have a cat who liked to get up on my shoulders during the stream. You guys remember him? He'd get on top of the chair.
Oh yeah.
And then my ex gave that kitty away and wouldn't get him back for me, so that was frustrating.
Yeah, that's good.
He was mostly a good cat, except he liked to chew on cables, and that was extremely obnoxious and destructive. Got some rocks up here.
Don't worry.
Poison's gone.
Can't get through this. Oh, yay, you're right. So now I can stand still and heal at least. But I've really got to get to another checkpoint so I can get Adol back. The foremost authority on Dr. Quinn? What the heck? I don't believe I ever watched an entire episode of that show. I saw it in passing here and there. I liked Briscoe County Jr. Have either of you guys seen that show? It was a Western show starring Bruce Campbell.
I like Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. He's a very lovable dude. Ah, okay. Oh, I got poisoned again. I was afraid I might be unpoisoned for a while, but thankfully the scorpions have taken care of that.
Yeah, apparently you can equip some accessories that may prevent poison in the future, but I don't know what that is.
Thank you for looking into it. I need to... Ah! Yeah. Buffalo guy... Ooh, flash move. I dodged it just the right time.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know... I'm still having a hard time getting my special ability to come out. I hit L1. It's definitely L1. Anyway. That's right, I should use the Soul Atomizer, because that would work in Phantasy Star Online too.
Yes.
Take some pods or try some Lysol, like ingest Lysol. See if that
I
cures
like
you.
it.
That's bad advice, Alejandro. Let's not do that.
That's a good
Okay.
idea. That's pretty sure that's how you cure everything, from what I've heard.
Try.
I wouldn't be surprised to hear, like, for instance, someone in the White House recommend it, but... Ugh. Okay. Yay, my health is coming back. If I stood still long enough, it started to regenerate much faster, so that's good. Great show, created by Carlton Cuse of Lost fame. Oh, nice, Guardian Owl. That's cool you know that. Ow. These enemies are pretty aggressive. You can't just run past them all that easily.
I watched Lost. I'm a Lost bro.
Do you like it a lot?
No.
He started,
that's
but
good
he
at
was
all.
lost.
Yeah, it got too confusing.
I binge watched it a couple of years ago.
Cool,
It was,
Brian.
I thought it was good. It
Yeah,
had
it's
several sufferable seasons where you were just like, come on.
It's, I mean, it has the old, like, I mean, 23-hour-long episodes is just not the way to tell a good story. Like, it's basically impossible to tell a story like that.
Stretched out too far.
Yeah, you just have to have so much filler and so much
Oh,
uninteresting stuff, or borderline interesting stuff, just to keep the person watching from week to week. So, I mean, yeah, it probably would be quite a bit better now if it was able to be done now.
like 13 or 10 episode seasons.
Well, I started watching Attack on Titan. I finished season 1, and then I started season 2, and they took like a drastic change of events, and I'm like, whoa. I don't know
They
if you
have
guys
some
ever watched
interesting
that.
twists in that show. I haven't seen much of it, but I've played the games, and so I know like the very broad strokes of the story. But yeah, it's like, what? Is that a thing? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Games of Lost?
What?
Were you talking about Lost still?
Attack on Titan.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in the same place, Tyler. I've seen like one episode of the anime, and the rest has just been playing the games. So I can get around there. Darker Player wants to know if people would like to see a black Batman.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Make whoever you want be Batman, you know?
As long as they're good. I don't know.
Yeah. Just don't let it be Val Kilmer.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, bring Val Kilmer back. I agree.
I like Val Kilmer a lot. However, he was not a good
Horrible Batman.
Yeah, I mean, it's not his fault. The script to Batman Forever is extremely bad, and the director, Joel Schumacher, was apparently doing way too much drugs at the time or something. So, yeah, I mean, like, everything about Batman Forever is bad, except for how silly it is. Maybe some people like that.
I want to say that the last good Val Kilmer movie I watched was The Saint, but I don't even know if that was actually that good.
I
Brandy's-
love that movie.
But didn't you say you didn't like him when he took his shirt off?
Yes.
Oh, no.
No. Yes. No. That was Harrison Ford in 6 Days, 7 Nights.
Oh, okay.
That was the last movie that he could take his shirt off, but he was starting to get barrel chested. You could see it at the end.
I think I might have seen that movie in the theater.
I like it.
6 Days, 7 Nights.
No. The other one. Sorry. The Saint.
Make up your mind.
The Saint.
You guys are ridiculous.
The Saint.
You got your Saint right here. Yeah, that is a fair point, Guardian Owl. But, like, as far as the script itself being bad, Michael Keaton specifically passed on the movie when he saw the script. Like, he was like, no thank you, and he was right, because it's a very dumb movie.
Which one has Jim Carrey in it?
That's Batman Forever.
Yeah. I thought Jim Carrey had a good role. Like, I liked him as Riddler, but I hated everything else about the movie.
I think they got the Riddler wrong, you know, like, it's, like, he does a lot of non-Riddler-y things, you know, but, like, I mean, he was the right guy to cast as the Riddler, it's just he needed a better movie to be in.
That was a, like, chest pick.
Yeah.
I know, but
yeah,
I can't
can
get
see
through that.
Okay.
See that.
I like the one you showed me yesterday.
The
The
video?
pitch.
Oh yeah, you know that guy who makes pitch videos, Tyler, did you actually check out that Godzilla pitch video I
Yeah, I
showed?
did watch it, yeah.
Quite funny. There's this guy at Screen Rant who makes these pitch videos, and they're like fake pitches for a movie that exists. And the idea, he's basically just like breaking down the story but making fun of it, you know. And he did one for Batman Forever, and we watched that together, and it was very funny. Like, I guess they're all really good because both the ones I saw were.
See, I said the same thing, Tom. He said he couldn't get back there.
Yeah, no, there was some stuff in the way. Adol needs some kind of item to get to it. I don't remember what it was. I guess I'm just gonna have to double back and hope that I can run. Oh, there is a downward path over here, so let's try that.
Already now says Two-Face was cool. That was Tommy Lee Jones, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Those
Yep.
For him.
I really do not like his makeup.
Interesting.
Yeah,
It is really weird how like Batman has gone through, I guess, almost 4 phases of movies since the 90s. Because the Keaton ones are like a little bit different, and they have that Burton
Yeah,
style. And then Batman
Gothic.
Forever and Batman and Robin are just like terrible and campy and not good. And then you have the super brooding Dark Knight trilogy, which is really good, but it is very broody. Then you have just like what DC has done with it now, which is I don't even know for sure how to explain it.
They prettified Batman with what's his name? No, the
Ben Affleck?
DC Batman, Ben Affleck. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
hated
Ben
Ben Affleck. I went to the movies to see that asteroid movie, and my girlfriend was like, "Ah." I was like, "Okay, I hate you.
Really?
What are you do after this?"
I
will
thought he
hate
was
you."
good in that. The Mark B points out that Two-Face was probably Tommy Lee Jones's most animated performance, and yeah, that's true. I mean,
That's true.
he was really over the top. And do you know Jim Carrey, who was the Riddler in that same movie? He tells a story of like a time that they went to dinner, or like Tommy Lee was already at dinner, and Jim Carrey tried to join him, and Tommy Lee Jones just totally shut him down and like said he couldn't stomach his buffoonery. And-
Weird.
Yeah, I don't think he has much of a sense of humor, but he was like just openly hostile to poor Jim Carrey.
Interesting. That's funny. I watched Justice League, I think, last week.
Did you like it?
The movie. I mean, I didn't hate it. It's not good.
What did you think of Henry Cavill's mustache?
I didn't hate it, but it's not good. Yeah. I'm trying to think. He had a mustache when they resurrected him.
No, the thing is, he was doing Mission Impossible at the same time, and I think it was Paramount or whoever does Mission Impossible would not allow him to shave it. So he had to do like half of Justice League with a mustache, which they used poor CG to remove. So there's all these pictures of him with a weird upper lip, you know, and like
I did not
freakish
notice
looking
that.
smile.
I won't say that I was like watching intently and like on the edge of my seat or anything. It's funny. I wish I would have known. Then I would have looked for it.
Yeah, it's worth looking for. At least do a web search and you'll find some ridiculous screenshots, and they really are from the movie.
Mustache reshoots? That's hilarious.
I guess there's a thing, if you know you're looking for it, I did not know and I did not notice it, so maybe the CGI wasn't that horrible.
Yeah, well, it wasn't.
I'm gonna
bad
watch
enough
it
that stood
again.
out to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch again just looking for the fake mustache CGI thingy. What about the Spider-Man iterations? Do you like the latest Spider-Man?
I really like the two newest ones.
I like the latest one. I never saw the Andrew Garfield ones.
They had major like script and reshoot problems. Like
Yeah.
they changed big plot points after already shooting the movie, so they would go back and reshoot things. But then in the editing, they would leave references to things that had been changed and stuff. So they're like just really kind of hacked together, which isn't good. The costumes look really great though. I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 has the best Spider-Man costume on film, I would say. Like, it's beautiful looking. It's just not a very good movie. Yay, I brought Adol back finally.
Have not seen those because I skipped those on purpose. Like,
Yeah, mine wasn't so much on purpose, but I just didn't ever feel compelled to watch them. I assume the first one is another kind of like how he gets. What do they call that? Like a
Origin?
story.
whatever. Yeah.
Intro
When
story.
they become aware of their powers and blah 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 blah. or get the powers.
Origin
I
story.
couldn't do that again.
Yeah, although I mean, in Amazing Spider-Man, that was one of the things I liked about it was it did a pretty good job of showing him working his powers out and stuff, like in a more believable and detailed way than what the Sam Raimi movies had done, or the first Sam Raimi movie, that is.
But I guess they did not sign up for newer Spider-Man, right? Because they could not agree on some whatever movie film studios arrangement. So there's no more Spider-Man in the Avengers universe.
I think that was a temporary. I could have sworn that they said that and then they solved it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a scary time because Spider-Man is really cool in the Marvel universe, right? It's
Somebody
nice
was
to have
trying to
him.
get him back and not let Disney and Marvel use him anymore.
Yes, that was
But
Sony's
it was
threat.
solved. Yeah,
I'm
Brian's
glad to hear that as well.
Thank goodness. So can I go? Oh, I've got a memory, and plus there was another memory that I missed because Adol was dead, and that was silly and kind of a waste of my time. But basically, guys, the reason we're looking for memories, Adol has lost his memory in the forest. Something happened to him, and he's lost them, and you actually have to run around and find them. So here's one. And before this, in the series, you didn't know what his backstory was. This game establishes his backstory. His mom had died, and he grew up with his father, and he basically always wanted to be an adventurer. I mean, it's not like an amazing backstory. It's totally what you would have guessed, but
He's so cute.
he is. That happens sometimes, Brian. Come on, guys. We need more Steam players and viewers. There you go.
I put PSTV, but I guess that doesn't count.
Well, I wish we had had Vita codes, but they wouldn't be good anymore. Interesting stories? You want to hear some? Adol, where'd you go? He even left his basket behind. That's funny. He's usually such a serious boy. Hope he doesn't take after me too much.
Oh boy,
Way to go, Alejandro!
Congrats.
exciting.
And his strength increased by finding the memories, so there's also a gameplay incentive, not just that you're trying to finish the game. The benefits. Congratulations. Speaking of Jim Carrey, though, we mentioned him earlier. We watched The Mask earlier this week. You guys have seen that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
It's really fun. I never saw the sequel, but I know people didn't like it very much.
the one with Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah.
I started it and yeah, it was pretty bad. The sequel. Yeah.
I kind of, I'm just curious about it, but it is hard to go into something knowing you'll probably be disappointed.
It's hard to imagine Cameron Diaz ever looked that good in The Mask. Like,
I agree.
Okay.
Boy, did she look
she's
good.
just
Yes.
so
Uh-huh.
stunning looking in that movie, and then like you see her in literally anything after that, she kind of looks anorexic.
Cut her hair.
Has she not aged very well, would you say?
I mean,
Yes.
she never. Yeah, she's fine looking still. Like I'm not gonna say like her elbows are too pointy or whatever.
Good.
But I mean, she's just like drop dead gorgeous in The Mask.
She is.
So I think I need to go up and right. Way to go, Dementia. Yeah, and it's a fun movie. I don't know if we've ever talked about this on stream before, but The Mask is actually based on a comic book, which a lot of people may not realize. A Dark Horse comic like Hellboy. And in the... Yeah, I mean, that's interesting all on its own. The comic starts out following Stanley Ipkiss, the same main character in the movie, but the comic is really dark. Like, the Mask character, once Stanley gets the mask on, he kills people. Like in the movie,
wow.
in the movie there's a couple of mechanics and he shoves mufflers up their butts, right? But they're fine. in the movie, I mean, in the comic, he just plain kills them, and he kills cops and like all kinds of people, and it's like they didn't. Quite often, they did not deserve it, and it's like it's actually a curse and a burden what it's doing to them. And then
So in the mythology, is Loki like evil or is Loki more like playful? 'Cause that's what the mask is, right? It's Loki.
Yes.
yeah,
yes.
it really depends on the interpretation. But I think it's kind of like, I mean, like Zeus, the character Zeus. It's a different mythology, but the myths themselves have him do all these bad things, but he's not necessarily supposed to be a bad guy. It's just like the weird way they told those old stories. And so it's kind of like that with Loki. Like, he does a lot of troublesome things, but he's not supposed to be explicitly evil, I don't think. Kind of like what Brian says, chaotic neutral / evil. Another memory. So what happened to the princess after that? Oh, it was awful. I'm afraid she had a most untimely end.
Oh no.
Oh, you come back to... Yeah, so there's a merchant who's telling stories, and this is what ignites Adol's passion for seeing the world.
I don't like Zeus. That's no way to treat Kratos. Poor Kratos. Too much grief.
Well, I haven't played much of the God of War series, but anybody who's played them and actually knows about mythology, like, doesn't it kind of change things up a lot? I would imagine so, because he's killing all the gods, right?
Play the third one on PlayStation. That's pretty cinematic and it's pretty awesome. The first two are too much punch, but the third one, God of War 3, I think was my favorite.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I have anything against them, and the fact that they are a little bit naughty I always thought was cool, because not a lot of games are,
It's the Leisure Suit Larry of PlayStation 4, basically.
Something like that. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know enough about
Wow.
mythology, but I'm sure it messes everything around. Like you said, he just basically kills all of ancient Greece.
Yep. But the third one, the battles against like the gods, the boss battles are pretty epic. Like, it was a pretty memorable game. I really recommend it. You
Nice.
want to play one.
Yeah, I would like to someday. I miss out on a lot of big games because I'm just so limited on time, and like my interests have me playing kind of medium-sized games like what we're playing right now, like Ease.
Yep.
Or Earth Defense Force, that kind of thing. So sometimes it's just hard to make time for the bigger releases.
Yeah, I prefer the reboot. Like, I like the original series, but the reboot is a little better, I think, overall. It's less hack and slash. It has a little bit more depth to the combat.
Nice. What about the story?
I mean, the story's good, but there's definitely, like, less god killing and stuff.
So maybe a little more depth to the writing, would you say, then?
Yeah, there definitely is.
Cool.
I'm halfway through that one. I play it like on Sundays when I'm in the mood for some butt kicking, Rocket League style.
I like it.
Like, instead of going to church, I just play a game where I get to kill the gods.
Play God. Ha ha ha.
There you go. So, guys, I cannot get this chest yet until I find whichever item lets you get through these rocks.
Oh man,
And
just step over that little rock right there.
I know there's nothing to keep him
Yeah.
from climbing.
Games like this are funny. I mean, it's a very common trope in video games. Is that you spinning around, or is that your?
My NPC is freaking
Yeah.
out. I don't know. I think the rocks are confusing him.
Yeah. He's like, I can get there. Yeah, it's some sort of silly loop in the code.
Yep.
Yes. That's the best kind of silly loops. Did we watch any other movies this week, Brandy? Oh yeah, we watched a horror movie called The Color Out of Space.
Yep.
Have you guys heard of it? Randy didn't love it so much. It is a Lovecraftian horror movie. It's actually based on a short story by H.P. Lovecraft, and there aren't that many movies based on his work, so that's cool enough on its own. Although H.P. Lovecraft was a big racist jerk, it's always fair to point out, but, I mean, that's not in the story anymore.
Did it have Cthulhu in it?
It didn't have Cthulhu, but that's a good question, because the movie Underwater has some Cthulhu-type stuff.
Oh, wow,
We also saw
yes.
that a few weeks ago.
A lot.
Yes. But I don't want to spoil it, but there might be some Cthulhu in that movie. Yeah, Nick... Oh, he was. Agreed, Bob Jones. But Nicolas Cage... Oh, I should go down and see. I think it was dead end, but I'm going to check anyway. Nicolas Cage is the star of The Color Out of Space, and he gives a mostly good performance, although his character eventually starts to lose his mind. I don't think it's spoiling to share. And when he starts to lose his mind, he does this wacky voice. Like, it's a... You know, he's like just... He'll be talking in his normal, subdued Nicolas Cage voice, and then he's like, can I get a little help here? How come nobody wants to help me out? We're supposed to be a family. And he's like... It's so nutty.
It's every bad acting trope you've ever heard about him doing. He sounded exactly
Yeah, it's
like
almost
that.
like he's making fun of himself. It's really strange. But let me tell you why it's an interesting movie, because that may not be a selling point right there, right? But the premise is there's this family. They live on a small farm, I guess, and it's part of a town, but it's way off on the outskirts. And a meteorite lands and in their yard, like real close by it, and it sinks into the earth, which in turn starts to affect the local water supply, and all kinds of weird, disturbing things start happening. There's some body horror. You know, body horror is like horror involving like a changing of the shape of the body or grotesque things that happen to a person's body, and there's some like really disturbing stuff that happens. Not a ton, but some, and it's very freaky, and I think it was very well done. Brandy didn't like it as much as me, though.
It was good special effects.
Yes.
But just...
Oh, and it was directed by Richard Stanley, who directed The Island of Dr. Moreau, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but The Island of Dr. Moreau has a very famously troubled production, and there's even a documentary about how troublesome the production was. And he didn't direct any more movies until coming back for Color Out of Space, if I remember correctly. So it's his return to horror. But also, even though The Island of Dr. Moreau is a really weird movie, I love it. Like,
I loved it, yeah.
yeah, it's got some
Fairuza
great actors.
Balk.
Yeah, it's got Fairuza Balk in it, so it's automatically wonderful. And
Is that based on the Jules Verne novel?
Yes.
yes. Yeah, there's been a few different movies of that, like 2 or 3, and it's good. Well, I think it's good. Not everyone does.
I like it.
Nice. So can I go to the west yet? I think I may need to go report... No, we did find a new path. Good. Sometimes you have to report back to town, because the goal of the game here in Ys Memories of Celceta is to map out the forest, right? So once you hit certain milestones, you'll go back to town and report it to the local governor, I believe she's called.
Pretty cool.
Yes, indeed.
She knows a lot more than the blowhard in charge.
Yeah, that's too bad nobody in our audience seems to have seen The Color Out of Space, but I do recommend you check it out, guys, if you like Lovecraftian things. In this case, the kind of horror, it's cosmic horror. Bad stuff from
In space.
off-planet. I don't know what the heck you were talking about in chat, Alejandro.
I
think he's having a seizure.
Joking about coding.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say maybe we should put a wallet under your tongue. Yay, Jay Bronis, thank you very much. Wait, how do I get down there? It looks like you could jump off the edge right here. But then I can't, so it's...
If you can't jump off the edge, don't go that way.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Oh, you know what? I think later on, like, an NPC knocks a tree down or something, and then it opens the path up, if I remember correctly.
Sorry, I
Yes.
know that was very unhelpful.
That is a good thing, Bob Jones. No, it's fine. We'll go ahead and try to work our way back to town, I think is the way to go. Unless I want to... Actually, I don't know if I've looked through all the water up here. There is an upper pathway, so I guess we'll try that. But Brian thinks we should go back to town. Let me just check the water real quick, Brian, and then we'll do that. Okay, I figured out without all I can do special moves, so I think I just don't have any equipped for Duran, and that's probably the problem. Duran,
The
sorry.
move is the fatal spin of death.
Yeah, he does like to spin around like a nut.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a treasure chest over here. I want that.
Makes your enemies dizzy.
Seems legit. Just saying.
Too legit, in fact, to quit. Definitely. You can adjust the camera zoom, which is a nice feature. Although why you would ever want it close up for actual gameplay, I don't know, because that would be a very silly way to play.
Dramatic effect.
Perhaps so.
Extreme close up.
Whoa! Whoa! Yeah. Anyway. We watched another episode of the DC Universe exclusive Harley Quinn cartoon today. Oh!
I like that one.
Fish is fish. Very delicious.
Absolutely not appropriate for your children.
Yeah, there's too much cussing and occasional gore, although in this episode there wasn't.
Yeah, that reminds me. I need to go back and finish Batman, the Arkham Asylum one. I have it in 3D, if you can believe it, and it just takes a bit to get used to it and play it without getting too dizzy.
To play it in 3D?
Play it in 3D.
Yeah, I have a 3D projector and it looks pretty cool. But
Interesting.
yeah, I cannot do it for too long.
Yeah, I would probably not do well.
You don't like 3D glasses?
I haven't tried them yet, but I get motion sickness really bad. I mean, really bad. Think of Mackenzie.
Well, I know our friend of the stream, Matt Wrestling, who is here in the audience, he loves 3D Blu-rays and stuff. He's like the only person I know, possibly the only person in America who actually loves that stuff. That's why it's a dying format. But yeah, he loves that stuff, and I remember he would like buy a worse edition of a movie if it had the 3D disc, because he just really wants those 3D discs, which is fine, you know.
Yeah, I have a few of those here too. Good to keep kids entertained.
And Brian says 3D is dead on Blu-ray, so
Yeah.
I'm aware of that. Yeah, Jay Bronis doesn't feel like... I agree, if they could find a way to do it without the glasses, probably that would reinvigorate it, but... the first Avenger in 3D, that sounds interesting. Well, I watched Conan the Barbarian, you know, the newer Conan movie with the Dothraki guy or whatever he is, in Game of Thrones. Jason Momoa, that's it.
Rocky guy.
Yeah.
He plays the same guy in every movie he makes anyway, so
yes.
Aquaman.
Pretty much. Although I do like him in Aquaman.
That was
That one
the best
surprised
one.
me.
Yep.
I
Children.
like Aquaman.
Yeah.
I did too.
I'll defend Aquaman. Even though
How's
it's a
that?
little corny that all these like big bad, guys are like floating in water and it's just super like wussy looking, but it's still cool.
A little bit
Absolutely
corny,
surprised
yes.
me. I never thought I would like it.
I didn't think
would
I'd like it either. It's good. It helps that like the story has more than one level of nuance. Like, just compared to Wonder Woman, where like the bad guy is Ares, the god of war, basically, who's just nothing but complete evil. But
Yeah.
there's like a little bit of nuance into the enemies in Aquaman.
Yeah, there's a bit of like a Game of Thrones type regal competition or whatever. Is that what you like? Political intrigue, you might describe it as?
Yeah,
For the royal-
to an extent. Like the bad guy's character, or whatever, Patrick Wilson, like his logic is not entirely flawed. Like some of the things that he wants.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that does make it more relatable. The fact that you could see how somebody could feel that way.
It's always like I've liked X-Men the most when it comes to comic book movies, because like I think about if I was a human in a world that was filled with mutants, yeah, I'd probably be scared as hell of mutants. Like I can understand why there would be politicians wanting to get rid of mutants or call for mutant registration and things like that. So that's why I'm always like X-Men. But I like those that have a little bit of nuance to them.
Nice.
Makes me remember Heroes, and it's sad that it didn't
Just up there.
pan out as well as.
I never saw it. I heard the first
I
season was
liked
really
it.
good, and then I heard it was a disaster after that.
Yeah, everyone says that it just got worse and worse as it went on.
I
It
blame
was
the
a
Olympic
revival and nobody likes it.
And the
I
first
blame
season,
the Olympic
remember?
Games. The Olympic
Yeah, I
Games
do.
came, and then they stopped filming because they were the stupid Olympic Games, and then when they came back, it sucked.
Oh, interesting.
Is that what it was?
I didn't know that's why they stopped filming. I just knew that they had a long break.
There's a chest under the water here. I think later on you get something that lets you dive into the water. I can't get it right now. Yes, Bob Jones, I agree with that. There's only one X-Men movie with Sentinels, and it barely even used them, and they look dumb. So that was a shame. Unless you count X-Men 3, it has the Sentinel head right at the beginning, but it's only the head of it.
Bummer.
It's always the Olympics' fault. Poor Tokyo. They were all excited to host the Olympics this year, and now they don't get to because of the pandemic. What a shame.
Well,
But
I
you
think
can
they're hosting them next year still. Assuming that that's a feasible, realistic thing.
Yeah, you're right. It's just delayed. So hopefully.
And maybe the actual players can play FIFA 2020, and then we can just watch them on my Twitch.
That would be cool.
I mean, if we're gonna have them compete in video games, it should be with Mario and Sonic at the 2020 Olympics.
Yep.
In the after party.
That's
Yeah.
That's the Olympics right there.
They can run around the lobby for an hour.
Yeah.
You know what?
Sorry, we're gonna restart the stream because Messi is having issues with his internet connection in Argentina.
Yeah, exactly. Someone forgets to mute their mic and
Oye, chamaco, ven para acá, tráeme la mesa, sopa,
the Olympics getting delayed is like a huge deal because there's like sports like gymnastics where like there's this peak age where you really basically the only age where you can compete is like maybe like 13 through 17 or something, and so like people are going to age out that maybe have a chance to actually compete, and that's really sucks for them.
Yeah, because they've dedicated years of their lives to it.
Years, yeah, exactly.
All right, we're going back to town now as requested.
Swimming too has a very young, like Michael Phelps style swimming, speed swimming or whatever. I don't know what you want to call it. Has a very specific age. Like you just can't compete with 19 and 20-year-olds when you're 24. It's just not possible to do.
That's a bummer. Why does anyone want to watch stuff like that, huh?
I like watching it.
Oh, nice. Guardian Owl is praising Tales of Berseria, saying that the protagonists are more like anti-heroes. That's interesting. Yeah, Human Brian was saying that it's a really good game earlier. And I thought it would be a good prize for Ease, because they're both Japanese-style games, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who's using slurs?
What?
NASCAR did that, and the drivers just wrecked all the cars to win. Oh, I see. Yeah, he's saying how it didn't go so well. Well, that's really intriguing, Guardian Owl. Is this Tales of Berseria game on consoles too, like modern ones? Let's go talk to... It's on PS4. I shall have to look into it.
The buttload of Tales games.
Yeah, they're actually kind of hard to tell apart, aren't they?
Yeah, fall into that trap of like not named, and they're not sequels. Like I'm pretty sure everyone is like a standalone story, but like it's hard to keep track of the order they came out or anything like that because of the names.
Tales is in from Sonic?
Honeypot. No.
Okay.
It's the Tales series. Tales of Berseria is the one we're talking about, and there's Tales of Vesperia. That's the only one I've ever played.
Okay. Huh.
And I've streamed it a while back.
Are those based on actual names or are they made up names?
I think they're made up. There's Tales of Symphonia.
They have really bad names. The Tales series has some really bad names. It's not as bad as Kingdom Hearts, but it's not great either.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as Castlevania, but it's not great either.
They don't have crazy subtitles like Kingdom Hearts. That's what the subtitles in Kingdom Hearts are offensively bad, or just like, yeah.
That's
It's
funny.
like they're making fun of the concept of naming a game.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know.
I have 3 honey potions.
Nice, Matt.
Acevedonia. Yeah, I would go there. Sounds like a cool place.
I'll know, Linda.
Oh, that's interesting. Human Brian says the PC version of Symphonia has technical issues. That's too bad. So let me go talk to the governor lady, see if she has anything new to say. There's lots of really interesting stuff that happens after this. Like, you get to this giant tree, and there's people who live in the tree. There's like a town built right on the water, and they raise like these, they're kind of like plesiosaurs. Like, they raise these reptile creatures and use them for transportation and stuff. And you do finally meet the bad guys. Like, I don't think I've met the bad guys yet in what I've played so far, but there's some people with powerful magic, and yeah, they're up to no good among all this in the forest, you know, because they can get away with a lot out there. I'm reporting now, lady. Griselda. It's my auntie Griselda.
Don't think so.
I don't like it a bit. I think I'm having a fit. Report map progress. There we go. Let's hear it, she says.
You made exceptional progress.
Yay, and I get a reward. Yeah, as you fill in more and more of the map all the way up to 100%, you get different rewards for it. So it's just kind of a nice structure to tie the game together.
That's cool.
Yeah. We're going to go turn in one of the quests we've completed, and we'll try to complete the other quest real quick. We've only got about 5-10 minutes left in the stream, everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
time flies when you're with your friends.
Yeah, it's great to have you on mic again, Alejandro.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice.
And always come back.
Yes, of course. Whenever you're free, you can always feel free to let us know and hop in. Good luck with the contest, everybody. Quest. Let's talk to this guy. He wanted the milk, and we got the milk early on in the stream. It's fresh, too.
You milked
Ew.
the cow.
I'm sorry, but, like, actually milking animals is really gross to me. I don't like to think about it. I must taste it right away. Don't give me that look. She didn't punchy taste. I missed it. Oh. He wanted the milk of this animal so he could make some kind of energizing milkshake.
Yes.
Sure, why not? We're trying it out.
His name is Mucho.
Yes, which is a funny name.
Spanish.
Not doo-doo.
That means mucho in Spanish.
Is that what it means?
It does. As the foremost Spanish speaker on this stream today.
I want to know.
You know, I was watching the Braumeister stream last night. Our friend of the stream, Braumeister, does his own streaming all the way down from Australia, and he does it later at night because of time zones. And he, a Spanish guy, or a Spanish speaker who only spoke Spanish, came into the stream and just kept talking Spanish, even though nobody could understand him. I mean, I could understand him. I was playing a game, so I couldn't, like, translate every little thing he said. But I was just, it's like a strange thing to do. Like, it'd be like me going into a Japanese speaker stream and just typing English when every other person is typing Japanese. I just don't understand why you would do that.
Quite strange.
Way to go, no time for games. Congratulations.
Congrats, no time.
Cross-pollination, Matt says. Very clever, Matt. Very clever. He's on a wordplay roll tonight. I don't know what went wrong. The recipe seemed perfect, Mucho says. Everyone says the milkshake turned out gross. This milkshake does not bring the boys to the yard.
Nope.
Here's the
And
reward.
nobody said it's better than yours.
Nope, nobody would say that. And he has this catchphrase. He says, "I'm a Mayun." I don't know what it even means. It's goofy. I don't get the joke.
I just like it when you say it.
Thanks, Jay Bronis. I'm always on top of popular culture. You know, we pride ourselves on that around here.
I think Mayun is slang for somebody who loves mayo.
It could be.
I'm a Mayun.
Paul's nemesis.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about mayonnaise. I did have a really good burger at Whataburger, which is a restaurant chain that a lot of people don't have because it's mainly in Texas. But it had avocado on it and bacon, and it was very, very good. Very good today.
Yeah, I'm only a recent convert to mayo, but I mean, I don't know how you can eat a sandwich without mayonnaise now. It just gets to be too dry unless you have, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe butter or tons of avocado on it.
What about mustard?
Yeah, I mean, you can. Mustard is so overwhelming in flavor. Like, I don't know how you can put a lot
Gotta
on
be
it.
careful with it.
That's
yeah.
true. Mustard does have a sharp flavor.
I put mayo on my hot dogs.
I do not do that.
Ew.
Yep. Oh, thanks, Brandy. Now I know
I do
somebody.
too.
Right?
Yep.
And I
I've
boiled
known
the
people
hot
that I
dogs,
know.
like the
Yep.
sausage.
So do you put ketchup on it too, or just mayo?
Mayo, ketchup, mustard,
Yep.
pickles.
Interesting.
Not
How
pickles,
funny
what do you
do
call
I
those?
know?
Radishes?
Relish.
Relish. Relish.
I
A lot of
relish the
people will put
thought.
pickles on it too, like on a Chicago dog or something. Those
Yeah.
big long spear pickles.
So I'm going to go ahead and buy some new equipment, help my guys survive better.
Yay.
If they're grilled, like out on the grill though, I like mustard. If not, I like mayonnaise. So
I do ketchup and mustard, and I like onions on hot dogs.
Really, on hot dogs? Huh.
Yeah, diced onions or something like that.
Ooh, wrapped
Really?
in bacon.
Relish is good for me. The best hot dog I ever had was at a restaurant at an airport, and it had tomatoes and relish and I forget what else, but it was so good. I was like, wow,
Oh, yeah.
tomatoes.
I grew up also with like chopped tomato or what do you call it, diced tomatoes. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a good hot dog place. I should see if they're still around. Like he had a good like Southwest chorizo hot dog that had like Southwest, like pico and stuff like that. It was just fantastic.
Ooh, that does sound cool. That would be an acceptable amount of onions. Brandy's burger had just like
I know.
like 2 handfuls of onions on it. It was a crazy amount.
Man,
Yeah, I don't like too
but
much
I'm just
onions.
like,
And I like I don't know that you guys have In-N-Out, but I like how they do like they have like they give you like just the onions. Like did you have like the diced ones or like actual pieces of onion?
yeah, no, these were diced and they were
I don't
pretty
like
big
diced on
even.
burgers.
I like the caramelized, really, the ones where
A lot of
they,
people do.
can-
I don't. Yeah, I can see that though.
But yeah, there was just way too many of them.
Alejandro's in fancy St. Louis.
Right.
Reinforce, refine. How does that work? What do I want to reinforce? My armor? I've got... Let's reinforce this. If you have the right materials, then you can just basically add some bonuses to your equipment.
It's cool. It's like
Sweet.
upgrading.
Do it. 80 Gs. There we go. Now his armor is +1. That's a little better. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that we can survive a little more easily, because I did get whooped up a bit earlier. Exchange materials. I think, did he want me to sell the iron ore? Or... I think so, because look, it's right there as an option. It's part of a quest I've got. That's our
Okay.
little side quest. Jay Bronis, it's great hanging out with you tonight. Thank you, dude.
Night night.
So let's kind of give everybody the full picture of East here. You know, you do have a big world map to explore. You'll explore part of it at a time and then come back and check in and, you know, sell items and whatnot. There are some other towns that you get to, like the tree town and the water town that we didn't get to show on stream, but they're farther in the game. And, you know, there's NPCs to talk to. There's big story developments. Like when you find a new dungeon, you're likely to advance the story at the end of the dungeon. And, oh, let's haggle. Sell for 5,000. 5,000 not enough? How about 5,500? Haggle further? Should I haggle further or just accept it, guys? Brian, thank you so
Haggle
much. Haggle further. Let's do it.
Yeah.
6,000 gold and not a bit more. Okay,
That
we'll
works.
take 6,000. Sure.
Bye,
It's a
Brian.
deal. Yay.
Does that like up your bargaining and stuff?
It's just to get a little bit more money. Completed the quest purchasing iron ore. Good, good. And then I'm supposed to then go buy some honey or something. I
Bye,
forget what it
Brian.
was.
Thanks for running the contest.
So it is an interesting story. We didn't get to show a lot of story on stream, but trust me, it's cool. And if you like Japanese games, this game just has a lot of great Japanese flavor to it. The colorful visuals, the peppy in music, which is very catchy at times. There's some animated, like an animated intro and things like that. So it is a whole lot of fun. It's $30 on PlayStation 4, but there's a deluxe edition if you want the soundtrack too. I don't think you can buy the soundtrack afterwards if you bought the regular game, and that's a shame. I don't like when you can't upgrade to the deluxe edition.
That's weird, but also would you want to own the soundtrack on PlayStation 4?
Yeah, well, I think if you buy it that way, there may be a way to just export the MP3s, like you can
Oh.
save them to USB or something like that. I forget. Because like
That
there's
makes
a
more sense.
yeah, like Tearaway on Vita, I think it was, you could export the soundtrack. Anyway, it is $25 on Steam. The Steam version is also very good. Like the PS4 version and the Steam version are basically the same, I think. The Steam version might have a little bonus content that this one doesn't. I could be wrong. And then it's also on Vita if you happen to have a Vita. And, you know, like Tyler, for instance, you got a Vita. What are you doing not playing it, dude? Because it really is a fun game.
Oh man, that thing is like, it has like maybe 3 years worth of dust on it.
That poor Vita. Think of all the trophies you're going without.
I know, but I have enough trophies. Don't worry about my trophy count.
I'm gonna try to connect my PS TV tonight, see if it still works. Speaking of
Man,
dust.
that menu is. I mean, and it was never great, but I mean it's so laggy because the PS4 menu's not even great. It gets laggy at times, but the PS3
Agreed.
is just
Yeah.
a disaster. But I mean, that was true of the 360 in its later days too. Like, it was hard to even get encouraged to turn it on and like have to move things without it loading.
What are you giving nuts to?
There's a little pig here. It's like a guinea pig or something, and there's some kind of benefit to getting these animals in the different towns to like you. I can't remember what it is, but you can make them like you more or less, and if you get them all to like you enough, then you get something. I forget what it is, but it's just a fun little side quest thing you can do. He seems pleased. Oh, look, I got strong hair, yay. And it plays that cool music when you get
I like
items.
the bacon.
So this is a really great series. This game, Memories of Celceta, is not on Xbox, but there is an Ys game on Xbox called Ys Origin. So if any of our Xbox fans want to try it out, I would get Ys Origin because it's also really cool and different. So I just want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Tyler, thanks for coming back on mic.
Yep, happy to be here.
Alejandro, thanks for making the time to hang out with us, dude.
Pleasure's all mine.
Yay!
Nice to meet
Us too, trust us. Oh look, the dog, I could pull its ears or give it food. Brandy, thanks for hanging out.
Always.
Thanks to all of you guys for checking it out. And of course, Xseed Games, thank you for releasing this on PS4 and for hooking us up with a copy to stream. We love you all, and remember, don't hate, appreciate.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hold those little buttholes.
Oh,
What?
he changed it.
That's extremely offensive, Tyler.
Yeah, because SOBs is so...
It's so
So generous.
2019.
He's trying to change. He's updating it.
Bye,
For
Jenna.
2020.
Bye, Perfect CEO. Bye, Ectotastic. BX Latino. No time. The Mark B, thank you so much. Great seeing you here, dude. Bob Jones. Link. Did Simius ever stop by? I don't think he did tonight.
Oh, you didn't actually.
Yeah, it's too bad.
I'll yell at him.
I appreciate that.